That's going to be part of the bloopers.
Okay.
I mean, we still got that. That's part of the bloopers. But hey, what's going on, everybody? Episode 2,
Hello.
breakdown. Before we start, we need to talk about the fact that Emil Pagliarulo from Bethesda revealed something absolutely insane about Nate from Fallout 4. And what was that, guys?
That Nate was a war criminal.
Not necessarily a war criminal. He never got caught.
Well,
but he was definitely on some fucking shiesty shit at war.
There was footage of it. They caught it in the CCTV.
Yep.
Okay. They caught it. Some background on this. Fallout 1 contains an intro sequence during the annexation of Canada, which was a situation where Canada, during the American-Civil War, America was trying to get into Alaska. Canada was like, you can't come through here. America was like, watch us. And they annexed Canada, and they slaughtered people. So you guys got to read
good old American way. You hear that, people?
It's beautiful.
So, Nate is a war criminal, but we have something exciting to talk about today. We just finished watching the second episode of Fallout.
Yep.
Again.
We're back at it.
Again.
Yeah, again. Remember in Tropic Thunder? Again.
Again.
And again.
But it's honestly it's a show that has continuous like replayability.
Oh yeah,
like, just like Bethesda games, like you could watch it over and over again, as like just as much as you could play it over and over again.
So I mean, we start off with the Enclave, okay? And let's talk about the Enclave real quick. Dabz, you want to take this one?
All hail the Enclave.
Fuck you.
That's right. All hail the Enclave. But I mean, I personally after disbanding after disbanding from the Brotherhood of Steel, I'm, my true roots have aligned. So
I bet I knew it was going to happen. I told you over and over again, the Brotherhood ain't it, man.
I mean, I'm a Free States guy, but the Free States don't exist anymore. They got wiped out.
Yeah, they did.
So I have to go somewhere, and the Enclave gave me a nice home. So
yeah,
Welcome
to our happy little Enclave.
Look, Gio, you could live out in the wilderness all you want, but Enclave forever, baby. Enclave forever.
All you got to do, man, just come join our happy little Enclave, Gio. It'll be all right, bro.
Yeah, but to start this off, I want to talk about where they are, okay? And the setting, what we know of the Enclave is like they're boogeymen, and we're not talking about the Institute because they're not here yet, or they just or not yet, but they've. In this timeline, they're most likely destroyed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, we see the Enclave not really hiding.
Yeah.
So, I want to touch on that a little bit. I feel like with what happened with the Enclave and what we got from them in 76... because we get more Enclave information in 76 than we do in any other game.
Yes, we do.
Which
is weird.
So the Enclave originally were mixed members of the government and Vault-Tec.
They were like the upper class.
Yes, they were the upper class.
Upper echelon of society.
Yes.
And we're talking like politicians, military generals.
Yeah. Like scientists and shit like that. Like really, really up there.
So the Enclave, after the bombs dropped, whole thing was rebuilding the government in post-apocalyptic era. Now, if we know anything about that from playing the games, they failed. A lot. Horribly.
I mean, look at what
it's kind of the bane of their existence.
I mean, their existence really is from like Fallout 76 to Fallout 2.
Yes.
During that timeline, they're really, but
up until this point.
Up until this point.
Yeah. Up until this point, we didn't know anything, and then they gave us this great fucking package with Fallout 4 that really went in depth as far as like their objective.
Yep.
Yeah. So we start off and we meet Dr. Wilsich.
Yep.
Gio likes to call him Wilson. But
I like him.
we meet
Mr.
Dr.
Wilson.
We see these beautiful, cute little pups, and they're being killed.
Yeah.
And they're being incinerated. They're being birthed to see what their weight is. And if you look through
they're
very familiar things here. So
what they're doing, what they're basically doing is they're taking, I guess, the Vault-Tec mentality of experimentation and weeding out the weakest from the ones that can actually be, I guess, trained or programmed, so to speak. And like with that whole thing, like that's what I took away from it. They were kind of getting rid of the ones that they figured weren't, capable or like, big enough in order to go on with these experiments and so on. So the best thing to do is put them out of their fucking misery. Yep. So the incinerator it was.
By the way,
it was a fucked up scene to watch, especially watch it.
Started the show, yeah. And so this is happening, but we see that this Enclave doctor actually has a bit of a moral compass.
Yeah.
I say a bit because we know that this is probably the only dog that he has saved. CX 404.
Yeah.
In the traditional Fallout
that means 403 of them are questionable.
Yeah. So that means that what's the traditional name for these dogs in the Fallout world?
Dog meat.
Dog meat.
Yep.
And we get an understanding of the dogs now.
Yep.
And why.
And not just that, the dogs and their behaviors, how they're so well fucking trained, how when you interact with them, they're not immediately hostile. Like it was really, really great the way they did that.
Yeah, so we see him raising this dog, but we get some Easter eggs during in between these scenes. He's raising this dog illegally, by the way. He's hiding this dog, and we get a really cool Easter egg of a super mutant on a gurney. One of the coolest things that we want super mutants so bad. We want super mutants, and we got that, okay? And we got some Hulk hands too, so that's the best way I could like reference it.
Yeah, and also don't forget to mention they were moving, like they were twitching.
Yeah.
But I want to see a walking super mutant.
That's hell yeah!
And a walking super mutant. That's what
Thaddeus.
I want to see.
Thaddeus.
I mean, I can see it. We don't know what we don't know what the snake oil man fucking gave him.
Yeah.
So,
we're gonna get to him soon.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna get to him in this episode.
Yeah, and so everything that happens here is pretty simple. He raises the dog, he trains the dog, but then one day another Enclave doctor just walks into his office and sees that this dog is in a hole in the wall. And now I'm not gonna go deep into it, but there's a lot of reminiscent things happening here from World War II. From the incineration of the animals to hiding an animal in a wall, and even the animals were harmed during the war too. They weren't.
Yes.
It wasn't not a thing. It was real, and these are unfortunate things that the show.
Well, remember, like during the war, during a lot of those old wars, they were trying to figure out how to get the advantage, how to get the upper hand on the enemy. So experimentation, trial and error, that was the one way they could find out what could really destroy the mass, of the enemy than just picking them one by one, because that was a harder battle. Yep. It's fucked up the way they went about it. Enclave was definitely written really well.
And they were dark. And so this doctor catches Dr. Wilsich, and naturally, like any dog that is raised by someone
with a heart,
by humans,
with a heart,
defended and in such a Bethesda style leap.
Yeah, I know.
And it's actually, I just want to throw a shout out to, I don't remember the name of the actual dog that was used for Fallout 4, but that dog passed away just like 2 years ago.
Oh wow.
And that dog is such a special, dog meat really is something special for the show. And so attacks the Enclave doctor, and Wilsich decides, let's just get the fuck out of here.
Well, yeah, at that point the alarm is already sounded.
You know what? I completely missed the part where he put the the thing inside his head.
So
Oh, well,
here,
yeah.
let me touch on that.
Oh, please go.
So we will find out, and I'm going to try and explain this without giving anything away. But they were working on something to help better the future.
Mankind. Yeah, just mankind in general. Yeah.
Yes. So obviously he implanted it into his neck for a reason. So we'll see what that reason could possibly be. But it's obviously important.
And I mean, talking about that object that he put in his neck, we were talking about it when watching the episode. He actually goes through a process to kind of subdue whatever that was so he can implant it in. Like he kind of like charged it and then like fucking like overcharged it to a point where it was just numb.
Yep.
So where it could sit in his neck. Because
Yep.
we find out later, like it's when Lucy gets like is able to touch that area, it actually pricks her or shocks her in a way.
Yep.
So it's weird. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, so he puts this thing aside. Right now, we don't know a lot about it. We just know that he's putting this thing in him, and then he's like cauterizing. It's like he heats up that
Yeah.
and it keeps it in there. He's miraculously fine, but nothing the stim paint can't help.
It definitely looks excruciating. I'll say that fucking much.
And, so now we're gonna fast forward back to where we were, the escape, and Wilsich makes a clean escape.
Dude,
At first,
yeah.
it was very clean.
With the dog.
Yep.
Like on a leash with the dog, holding back, like he was ready to fucking bounce. Like you knew he was gone.
As the alarm went off.
Yes.
As the alarm went off.
He got out of there, and then the turrets come up, which we're super familiar with because we build them in our camps and in our games, which had a little upgrade with a screen on it.
Yeah, that was really cool.
So what's really cool is that we got to see this dog just not dodge the bullets, but kind of tactfully like okay.
Yeah, like they weren't really running. It was more of a speed walk with Dog Meat leading.
Yep.
And Dog Meat was weaving through a lot of the bullets. Like he looked careless. His tongue was out. His ears are spried up. Like comfortable with it. Like it was insane to see the behavior of this fucking dog.
Somebody used the cheat terminal.
He's wearing the ring. He's wearing the one ring.
He's wearing the one ring. But yeah, so now we flash forward over. Now we cut over to.
Oh man, the Brotherhood.
Resident Vault Dweller. No.
Well, no.
Well,
Oh, that's right. We got to Lucy.
All right, so
Lucy.
here, this is gonna be fun, guys. I love this whole sequence. Okay, this shit's great. So we cut to Lucy, and she is roaming. Finally, is starting to walk out of the vault area. Which I want to point this out because this is the first thing that we really get to see of her. And she's walking down this hill, and she see a tumbleweed like roll by her. Did you see her jump? She jumped. She's like, what was that?
Which is real funny to me because we know that they were watching Cooper Howard movies, and you would think that they would have a rolling tumbleweed.
Yeah.
They would be familiar with that, but she treated it like it was a creature.
Yep.
It was probably different seeing it in person than seeing it on a TV screen. You're like, oh shit! Like, what the fuck is that thing?
So,
it was tumbling at a rapid velocity. Goddammit.
So she's walking in this desolate desert, right?
Mm-hmm.
We get to see her. She stumbles across a submarine.
Yeah, a big capsize. It was like a. Yeah, it was like on land too, but it was buried in the fucking sand.
I have a theory about that.
You have it.
What's your theory?
So in the Fallout lore, there is a group called the Shy. I don't know if it's the Shy or the She.
I think it's the Shy.
Yeah,
I think
and
it's the Shy.
Yeah, so they were Japanese.
I think they were Chinese.
I don't remember if they were let me.
Because I know it was them that were trying to infiltrate, and that's where we see that one submarine mission in 4.
I want to make sure I get this right because I don't want to disrespect anybody. Chinese.
Yeah.
Chinese.
Yep. So there was a submarine. So there was a submarine called the Shai Huang T, and it beached in San Francisco. Now
Hmm.
I know we're in LA, but and you know,
And she's close to the pier on foot. It's only
so
been one night.
my theory is that maybe it's the Shy submarine because they
Hmm.
came from a submarine and then they moved on to another location, which I'm sure we're going to see in the next season. I would love to see the Shy in the next season.
Oh
They're
shit! You know we completely skipped the scene.
What do we
which
skip?
We skipped the scene where Lucy meets the old man
No,
while
that
she's
hasn't
camped out.
that hasn't happened yet. We
no, she
haven't
hasn't
gotten
gone
there
to
yet.
sleep yet.
She hasn't gone to
You
sleep.
guys, look. You guys told us to do so, right?
Yet.
You fucking told us to do so, right? Look, see, we're already. I'm already losing track of shit. All right, onward with the story.
Yeah.
Wasteland, we go.
No, but,
So-
but right around this point, we see the Protectron.
Yeah,
The Assaultron. The
Assaultron.
Assaultron.
Deactivated, buried in fucking
Buried in
sand.
Yep.
That shit's been there for a while.
The shit yeah, it has. And she's looking at it like, what is this thing? Like her curiosity is like definitely not. It's gonna end up killing the cat eventually, but
She's just very naive to the
she's
real world
very
right
naive.
now. Very
to
naive to
surface
the real world.
Yep.
A typical vault dweller, bro.
And then it's nap time.
Yes.
So
And then
so it gets dark out, or starting to get dark out, and she decides that she's going to camp up, so she lights a fire, and then she does whatever her shit is, gets ready, cuts the black, comes back, she's asleep, and then she hears growling or panting of a dog,
mm-hmm.
and it wakes her up. And we see dog meat.
Chilling.
And
Chilling.
The good doctor.
Well, we don't see the doctor yet.
Yeah, no, dog meat
Yeah.
shows off. Dog meat shows off a little bit, you know.
So dog meat shows off a little bit. He hears a rad roach and goes and literally destroys this rad roach in front of her. And then we hear a voice.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about roaches and how people,
Said that they would survive the
they
apocalypse.
survive the apocalypse and all this. And he says, in actuality, now we get to actually see his face.
Mm-hmm.
And if we see his face, and we're just like, that's the guy that the Brotherhood is looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Play forever.
This motherfucker.
We also know that that's
He's
the
a
guy
fucking
that
traitor.
the ghoul is looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that connection there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's discussing, he's like, in actuality, the roaches mutated.
Yeah. They didn't just survive, they mutated.
They didn't just survive, they evolved. He explains how the antennae is larger. They have incisors to eat larger prey. And then he's like you,
Yeah.
talking to Lucy.
Yep.
We still don't know this man's name at this point in the show. It has not been announced.
Yeah,
We
not
know
yet.
his name because we've obviously seen the episode, but we do not know his name yet.
He's just a weird fucking old guy stalking a chick sleeping on the ground. Mind you, let's point this out. While she was sleeping, her Pip-Boy was not on her.
On her. No. She
Like,
had laid her Pip-Boy down before she went to go lay down and get comfortable.
You can't take your Pip-Boy off in the game, okay?
No, you cannot.
She should not be able to take off her Pip-Boy.
No.
At
I don't
all.
care what anybody
At all.
says.
At all.
Put the Pip-Boy back on, motherfucker.
Sleep with that
Keep it
shit
on,
on.
bro. Keep that shit on.
Yeah.
Keep it
and
on.
actually, while we're speaking about the Pip-Boy, you were curious about the silver.
On the back.
Okay,
The tab.
so the one that's on the back and the one that's in the front, they are connected. So
Okay.
I did a little research, and each vault most vaults had similar designs, but most of them had different designs. You can see this in games like New Vegas, where they have a more mechanical baggy look, and whereas Vault 111 and Vault 101 are more form-fitting. But those silver pieces, they are biometric scanners for your Pip-Boy. When you look at
You know what those jumpsuits remind me of? The utility versions.
Yes.
They look like Vault-Tec utility fucking jumpsuits.
So you know when you look at your Pip-Boy, right, and it tells
Mhm.
you like, oh, you have like a broken limb here, or you're
Yep.
sick here. That's what those scanners are for.
Okay.
So little fun fact. Oh fuck!
That's
I
cool.
fucking
Did not
burnt the
know that.
cherry
Thank
on
you
me.
for that piece of
That's
information.
fucking cool.
I know you were super curious about
I
that.
was.
And I looked it up, and I was like, wow, that's actually really cool.
That is really
neat
cool.
No, that is really cool. I didn't know that.
You
That's
know,
awesome. Hell yeah.
It does have a use to it. But,
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
But now,
I honestly thought it had something to do with like the anti-radiation or like their try to the protection for the radiation, like that had something to do with the suit, like to hold some kind of defense towards it.
It kind of makes sense because now that you think about it, when you look at the Pip-Boy, you're kind of like, well, how does it get all this information?
Yeah.
Now we know.
Yeah. That makes a lot of fucking sense.
So now we cut over inside the vertibird.
Really fucking cool scene. Really cool scene.
Fucking god damn it, man. Oh my goodness. This is where we get to find out that Night Titus is an asshole. There's always one Brotherhood of Steel member that we do not like. At first it was Maximus, and then I met Night Titus, and I was like, this dude is the bona fide version. Like, if they did a live-action version of Night Shin, that is Night Titus.
It's super funny, too, because he is such an asshole to him. And like, to kind of top it all off, it's a really quick scene. We know what happens. Maximus is asking him questions, and Night Titus rips off his crotch piece, and he gives it to Maximus to clean, and Maximus fucking cleans it. Yep. And then he proceeds to put it back on his crotch. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that.
Not doing that.
Like, I understand that you're my lord, I guess is the right term for it.
I guess.
In the sense. But not that I'm,
there's a lot. There's a certain line.
That's kind of insulting.
Yeah, that's a line.
Now, if there was a point like, dude, you can't reach your crotch piece and you need me to clean it for you because we're there. Okay, I got you, homie.
It's like, dude, you got it off. You could put it back on.
Right, exactly.
No, and one of my favorite fucking dialogues in this entire fucking episode was when he sat right up after putting up the crotch piece. He's like, I'm bored. I want to shoot something. And he calls for the vertibird to fucking land. Yeah, and then as soon as he calls for it to fucking land, Maximus is like, dude, we're far as fuck from where we got to be.
Yeah.
And he just turns around and stares him down. He's like, yeah, okay, so I guess we're dropping. Mm-hmm. And then one of the greatest sequences, Sanchez, tell him about that fucking drop sequence, please.
So they get on the side, and my wife loves this scene. She I always tell her oh look, it's happening. She cracks up every time. Night Titus hooks up on the vertibird, getting ready to drop down. And so does Maximus, because it's really cool. The uniform has belts where it loops you in onto the vertibird so you don't drop. So Maximus gets up on top of him, and Titus picks him up like a baby. And Maximus wraps his leg around him like it's the ending of fucking Moondance or some shit. And they're just. It was like a baby seeing his father for the first time.
It was beautiful.
The war ended, and next thing you know, he just dropped it. We got into a little conversation about it, how I kind of feel like Maximus needed to wrap his legs around the power armor because I feel like the impact could have hurt him. Because if his legs were dangling and the impact probably would have happened, he probably would have hit his legs on the fucking power armor. He probably would have busted a kneecap. What do you think?
I mean, in my opinion, he actually picked him up to where his legs were dangling and then hooked him onto the power armor.
I don't think his feet. Okay. I don't think his feet were going to touch the ground regardless of anything. He was hoisted up way too high, and those fucking spots to hang were right fucking here. They're the chest pieces. So he was safe. He didn't have to wrap his fucking legs around like a toddler.
No, he did not need to do that.
That was not happening.
I beg to differ. But they get down and
phooey.
Maximus has to carry this big fucking bag, which is
Oh my god, bro. If over encumbered was a live action thing, that's what this is. This is the equivalent of using your companion to carry everything.
Companion
we were
abuse.
actually saying that the three of us could probably fit in that bag.
Oh yeah, absolutely, comfortably.
Like,
yeah,
absolutely.
Like, it's so insane. And so they find this cave. And it's actually funny that we see this cave because the doctor, we see him in his travels after the escape, that he was in the same cave too.
Mm-hmm.
And
at least he camped out outside of it.
Yeah, so
and he got scared really quickly.
Yeah, so Titus and Maximus find this cave. They sit down and they go inside the cave. And Night Titus is like, "All right, my squire, you go ahead," you know. And Maximus is like, "I don't even have armor, dog."
He's like, "You get armor through acts of bravery. This is an act of bravery. Get going."
My squire.
And Night Titus, and fucking Maximus, like a bitch. He checks for his fucking flashlight. No flashlight available. And
chucks it onto the ground.
Yeah, he just waltzes right in. That's it.
He just
waltzes right the fuck into the darkness.
And then we see the Yao
Guai.
Well, first we get. Before that, first we get kind of a hint of like really the dickism that comes with Night Titus, where he literally calls him a dipshit.
Yeah,
like he refers to Maximus. Yeah, like anything there, dipshit. Like, and then we immediately understand like why fucking Maximus turns around with that suspensed face, like look on his face, because yes, the Yao Guai, the fucking Yao Guai, man.
And the Yao Guai looked amazing. I mean,
great design.
We've watched shows.
The boils, the blisters, the burnt fur, all that shit came out so fucking well. Really, really well.
And then we learned that Night Titus is a big fat bitch.
Oh yes, I love this. Can I do it?
Please, yeah.
Okay, so he looks at the Yao Guai and he's like, "Oh fuck!" And then he proceeds to try and shoot him. The Yao Guai knocks the gun out. Bites
Not even knocks it. Yeah, he fucking kills the barrel.
Bites the barrel, kills the fucking gun, and then Night Titus thought it would be a good idea to fist fight with a Yao Guai. Now, if we know anything from playing any of the games, hand-to-hand combat against the Yao Guai is not the smartest option that you could possibly choose in a fucking video.
Definitely not.
No.
Not without a power fist or something to help you, but yeah, it's not happening.
He was in power armor, but even still, like...
It wasn't doing shit.
So we get to this point where Night Titus gives the fuck up, and he decides to turn around and he's like, no, fuck, no, fuck, and he's booking it, and then he trips, and then he falls, and then he slides NPC style through the fucking dirt, and then we hear the lovely sound of metal hitting rock. Clink! Fucking love it, like straight out of a cartoon, bro.
That impact fucked him up too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He was done. He was out cold.
You know,
Yao Guai starts sniffing on his fucking corpse and flips him over the way he oh my god, like a fucking flapjack, dude. Just flap.
It puts into perspective how weak and how heavy that metal is on the power armor.
Oh yeah.
Because remember, there's also a chassis under that armor too that that is on there, so that Yao Guai just flipped
here's
it
my
over.
Thing.
Not even just that. He already cut through that fucking full steel layer. Like you see the huge gashes.
But here's my question: with the chassis, though, because the chassis is heavier than the external pieces. The chassis is the heaviest part of the whole thing.
Yep.
Even so, regardless how light the armor attached to the chassis is, the chassis still holds weight. So is the chassis lightweight, or is the Yao Guai just super mutated and super strong?
I think it's super fucking strong. I mean, it lived in a burrow that was completely filled with barrels upon barrels of radiation, like a lot of it. So that thing was highly irradiated. And as we know, anything highly irradiated to that point is strong as fuck. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, no, I can definitely imagine the radiation from those barrels had a lot to do with the strength.
Yeah, and I bet you money, if that bear shit in the woods, you would definitely hear it.
Oh hell yeah, that shit'll thonk, thonk.
So now Titus is telling Maximus, shoot this fucking thing, And Maximus pulls out the VATS and he one-shots the fucking Yao Guai
Crit.
Oh, yeah.
with a 10mm pistol.
It was a
Crit.
beautiful lucky shot, yeah.
Okay.
Lucky shot like
And
a motherfucker.
you know, a crit. We determined that is most likely a crit shot. He's probably have some crits in his build that make him do that.
Oh yeah.
Certainly a pistol build though.
Yeah, absolutely pistol build.
There's no other way about it. He's
I
definitely.
mean, we see later on he has a laser pistol. Like it's always pistol. Like he's definitely not holding. He's definitely not holding onto a heavy gun. Not at all.
That's right. And what happened? Okay, so now Maximus goes up to Titus, and he takes off his mask and. Yeah.
One of the greatest reveals. One of the greatest cameo reveals ever, man. Michael fucking Rapaport as Night Titus. When that mask came off, I immediately fucking like I yeeped. I was like, ah! Like, yes! It was beautiful. It was one of my favorite fucking moments.
I want to know how that happened.
I have no idea. I have no idea. What, with Michael Rapaport in that role?
Like, is Michael Rapaport, is he a Fallout fan? You know,
I wouldn't doubt it.
So.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Because we know Aaron Paul is. We know he's
Yes.
a huge
Aaron
Fallout
Paul.
fan. So we assume that he's coming for season 2.
I would hope so.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I would definitely hope so.
I don't think he's doing anything right now, so fingers crossed.
Yeah.
You know? But
yeah, fucking
he takes off the mask, yep.
Yep, takes off the fucking mask and he pretty much, like verbally abuses the shit out of Maximus, telling him how fucking useless he is, that he's the worst fucking scribe ever. And Maximus is literally caught in a fucking bind where it's like, do I save this motherfucker with a stim pack or do I just let him die? Because according to Maximus, he said that fucking Titus did not deserve that armor. Like, he just didn't deserve it because he showed, cowardice. As he walked in without a fucking, without a worry. I mean, some worry, let's be real. He walked into that cave when told to do so. Yes, that is already an act of bravery because he had nothing fucking on him to even defend himself. So, yeah, in a way, he was right to tell Titus that he didn't deserve that armor.
Yep.
And with that, he literally just sits there and watches Titus die.
Which is which is the G-est shit.
Yeah.
Is the G-est shit that Maximus will ever fucking do in this season. I'm just being dead honest with you.
Yeah.
This man literally was like, hey, bud, about me helping you. That's not happening. On top of that, you're a bitch. You don't deserve that armor. So I'm going to sit here and watch you die, and I'm going to take it from you.
Watched him fucking die. Like, it was incredible. But then the scene cuts, and we get Lucy in the Wasteland wandering about, and we meet one of the first legitimate Wastelanders in the fucking series.
Okay, hold up, because you're completely missing the part.
Which one?
Right before she gets into. Oh, what? Nope, never mind. My bad. You're right.
Look at
bad.
you. Look at you. What did you guys say?
Wait.
What did you guys say?
What did you guys say?
What did you say?
What did you guys say?
This is why we try to keep ourselves somewhat balanced so we could remember what the fuck we just watched. Because, yes, we just watched this episode. But I'll continue on in a second. Hold on. So, Lucy's sauntering through the wasteland once again, and she comes along, literally our first introduction of a Wastelander, perfectly depicted. I'm not sure who that actor is, or or what he's done prior to this role, but we see a man pumping a water filter. Now, the problem is that, this guy looks really fucking disheveled. He looks all kinds of fucked up. But Lucy literally fucking, walks up to this guy holding a gun. Like, literally holding her pistol up to this man. Immediately, like it was pretty fucked up. So this guy cautiously turns around and he's like, he's just, fucking chilling. And then she's telling him, do you know, she's asking for information. Homeboy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. So she asked him what the hell he's doing. And he said he's trying to fucking get the water filter to work, but no matter how much sand he puts into it, all he keeps getting is sand. And then she asks, have you tried putting water? And he was like, do you have any? So she hands him a bottle, Now, this was a perfect purified water bottle. I love the design of this fucking bottle because it was great. She hands him a fucking bottle of purified water, and the homeboy chugs the whole fucking thing and hands her back the bottle. She asks for directions, says he can't really help, and then gives her the offer of, you can stay here with me if you want. He doesn't have long to live, so she won't have to deal with him for too long. Trying to, sell the spiel. And yeah, it didn't work out. She continued on her way. And she comes across a beautiful, beautiful neighborhood it seems familiar because it's just how you would walk into any big town in any Fallout game. She sees signs for Philly, the whole fucking nine, and then she makes it to fucking Philly.
Now, I want to talk about this section right here. So before we get to Philly, though,
yes.
I want to point out that we've all played Fallout and have been in conversations with characters in the game that we didn't want to be in. So what did we do? We walked away.
Yeah.
And what do? They shout at you until you come back and answer their question, which is how I felt with Lucy when she was walking away from Mr. Weirdo Creepo with the Tato farm.
Yeah.
With the pure... First of all, you can't add sand to a water purifier without water first. Need the water. How are you going to purify the water in the sand without water?
His motives were in the right direction. It's just his direction was all fucked up.
But anyway, so
yeah, it was ass backwards.
Ass backwards. So she's walking into Philly and she's walking through and we see these outside vendors, right? And she comes across one, and he's selling iguana on a stick.
Can I say something about iguana on a stick?
Go ahead.
Please do.
From every Fallout game that you've played, how many iguanas have you seen?
None.
I rest my case.
Yeah. The only thing remotely close to an iguana are the mutated geckos.
Yes.
And that's not.
I don't want to eat that.
That's not iguana.
Listen, I'm a cannibal, bro. I don't want to eat that.
Yeah, I know what's in the iguana bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not iguana.
Yeah, the lore behind iguana bits are actually really fucking. It's pretty sick. So look it up. We won't delve into that right now, but look it up. It's pretty sick.
It may be something that YouTube may not even allow us to talk about.
I'm pretty sure that fucking Oxhorn or fucking Nate, one of those assholes. One of those guys will probably have some info on that, but yeah, definitely look that up.
I want to say that there was a sign in this little marketplace too. Mm-hmm. Now I really like this place because it reminded me of 14th Street in New York City.
Okay.
How and Gio's laughing, but I don't know. Have you ever been to 14th Street? God damn it, what's that called?
Oh my god. Uh-oh. The fuck? Uh-oh. He's getting background.
I'm drawing a fucking blank. I can't. What the hell?
All right, fuck it. Move forward. Moving on.
Moving on.
14th Street in New York City. There's a whole marketplace.
Thing. Yeah. Go.
Yeah, it's a whole marketplace. They have street fairs there, farmers markets and stuff like that, and they that's what this little section reminded me of going into Philly, and I thought it was pretty cool. It was kind of like a pathway, and it's actually they built this section for the Amazon Union Square. So that part of Philly reminded me of Union Square. So then we get into Philly, no, not Megaton. Philly, no, not Diamond City. Philly, and it starts with an F.
Yes, it's Filly. Philly.
Yes, it's literally Philly, as in a landfill. It's just
yes.
That's literally it.
What is interesting about Philly though is that if you look at most of it, the whole place is made out of airplane parts.
Yeah.
Except for the random old school bus vans that are there and
there's trailers, shipyard trailers and shit there too.
Very junky town. We got to see Brahmin.
Yep.
Yes, we saw Brahmin. Yes, which was awesome.
We're there. We got to see some junkies. The ghoul. We see the ghoul. Just in a quick flash.
And we hear the yodel.
The fucking yodel.
And then we see
Yo.
Lucy walking towards the store, and
Mhm.
it's the shot is pretty cool because it shows the Pip Boy from Fallout 76.
Yes.
The Mark shit, what is it? The Mark 3? That's the Pip Boy 2000 Mark 6.
Okay.
And then as she goes inside the store, there's a more wide shot, and you see stim packs, you see bobbleheads, a mini nuke in one of the shelves, and then you see other Pit Boys on the wall. Oh, and then you see the Fallout lunchbox, the traditional
Yes.
lunchbox that you usually
Mhm.
get from like shelters and 76 right now.
Yep.
That is it. That is in there as well. But there's plenty of Pit Boys on the wall as well. So it kind of makes you wonder where did they get these Pit Boys from, and why is the 2000 Mark 6 so clean?
Right.
Mhm.
And then we meet Ma Jun, and she can.
Well, we meet a live action Majun.
Yeah. Well, we don't know. It's speculated. It's highly speculated, but we don't know. You know, the timeline does fit because there is a June in Fallout 4, and
Uh-huh.
she's one of the settlements, but we don't know enough. We don't know enough. But there's some rice in the pudding though. There
I'm
is
telling
some rice.
you,
There
I
is
have
some,
a feeling.
you know, and she runs this really cool store, you
Yep.
know, a little old thrift shop, and you go inside, and she can't believe her eyes. She sees a fucking vault dweller. She is just like, I can't believe this shit. I thought all you guys were dead. You've seen every single person have seen the preview, even if you haven't watched the show. The conversation is so funny because, you know, Lucy is so like uppity and positive, and then
What the fuck?
Ma Jun's like, get away from me, please.
Yeah. And then we meet Barb.
Barb.
Barb, come out here. You gotta see this shit.
And then as soon as Lucy says like Moldaver, she's like go. She closes the book and she's like Barb, just go back.
Go back to your fucking room, Barb.
That was great, and you know that was such an interesting scene. And then what's so funny is that Lucy starts talking about that one day Vault-Tec is going to save America, and you know you kind of really think and put this into perspective, and you're just like, she really doesn't fucking know,
She really doesn't know. She's so
You know?
naive, man.
and that is like such a cool thing because you experience that playing these games, but then in this perspective, you're just like, oh shit, wait a minute, everyone's moved on, they forgot about us,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they forgot about us vault dwellers. So what happens next? She goes outside, right? Take it.
So
She goes outside, but
go ahead.
I think there's a portion where we kind of missed the snake oil salesman and this
Oh,
dude
yeah.
fucking running around in his newly stolen fucking Brotherhood armor.
Yes, we did. We skipped the Maximus and the Brotherhood.
You know what? We'll do that after this scene.
Okay.
We'll do that after this scene.
All right. So Lucy walks back outside.
Just remind me, Gio.
Oh no, I'll remind you.
Yeah.
So Lucy walks back outside, and we see the doctor again. And he's just like,
And we get his name now.
and now we get his name, which is Wilsich.
It's
Right.
Wilsig, yeah.
Wilsich.
Really?
And he's just like, you really shouldn't be here. This place is not safe for you.
He's like, I told you.
I
to
told
leave."
you to leave and go back home.
Say it, Gio. I told you.
Bro. I'm high.
And then
And these
you
things
hear-
are destroying my life right now.
Oh my god. And then you hear
The yodel again.
My favorite. That one.
yeah, so go ahead.
Go ahead, Gio. This is you.
This is you.
What?
You're covering
This is
the
your
book.
boy.
Well,
Oh my god.
homeboy gets up off his seat and introduces him. Well, he doesn't really introduce himself. He says that he's looking for a doctor in town. And the doctor that just so happens to look like the man standing between our vault dwelling main cast member and Majun. So Lucy looking on like she don't know what the fuck is going on, which she doesn't.
She really, no, she doesn't.
We got the ghoul pretty much, making a statement. There's a bounty on somebody in the town who, he's wanted throughout a couple of fucking people, and he's homeboy right here. So Ma June pretty much puts up the proposal where, she got paid a lot of fucking caps to keep this man safe. Well, with that being said, he immediately changed plans and used click the VAT system to completely take out my man's left leg from knee down. The whole thing gone. Like there's no fucking trace of it anywhere left. It's just splat.
Exploded. Exploded.
So
It's more like his shin down.
oh yeah.
Yeah, his shin down.
Well, like what, 3 inches under his knee?
Yeah, something like that.
Dude, he took off that fucking he took that shit
He
off.
took it off though. It exploded. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Soon as my man fucking fires the first shot, Maju ducks and covers, grabs her fucking rifle, and offers everybody in town 1,000 caps, I think it was.
1,000 caps.
1,000 fucking caps to kill this son of a bitch. But she emphasizes not unless she kills him first. Mind you, she ain't the first one to take a shot, fucking bitch. But you see Ghoul standing there. He's kind of like just chilling in the middle of this whole fucking town. Everybody is silent as hell. But you see people slowly moving about, kind of positioning themselves a little bit, getting in their spots and shit. And he's not like watching at all. Like he's keeping his eye right on the ball. He's looking around, seeing people like fucking running, scurrying, trying to hide and escape. People are grabbing their wares and saying, fuck this, I'm out. Yeah, well. One guy decides to be brave as shizzle, and this is the part that like drove me fucking nuts when he did it. When you're a sniper, or when you're shooting from long range, right? You shut the fuck up and shoot. This guy yelled, "Ah!" and shot from fucking far as hell away, gives away his position, and he gets blasted in fucking oblivion. Bloody mess. Beautifully fucking done. Then this huge fucking shootout happens in town. You really get to see this school's fucking like shooting like skills. He's using explosive rounds. He's got VATs going on galore. He's putting rounds through people and blowing people up behind him. Some of the rounds are like Cyclops beams where they fucking push people through motherfucking like objects and shit. It's incredible. This fight scene was insane.
I want to point out the ammunition that he's using. He's using mini nukes. Is
Dude,
what he's using.
Shit is insane.
Very small mini nukes
Bro.
as regular ammunition in that pistol, which is wild to me because
They're probably
we all know what a mini nuke can do. Kaboom! This little thing like kabooms you from the inside out.
Oh yeah.
It's weird.
Like.
I
shit.
want that.
You want that?
Give me that in the game. That's what I want. I want that.
If that was craftable, that'd be amazing.
Absolutely. Yep.
So the shootout goes down, and while this shootout's going down, Lucy taking fucking Dr. Huta was it with Ma June into the store to patch up his fucking leg. And now we can circle back to Homeboy getting his power armor.
Okay.
So Maximus takes the fucking power armor off of Titus, out of Titus's dead body. We assume we don't know what he did with Titus's body, but it's somewhere.
I would have put it back in the fucking cave by the barrels. Like that's it.
He probably did. And so Maximus decides to have a little fun, and he starts jiving and juking and dancing and punching things and throwing things and all this shit. He's having fun with the power. Pretty much every single one of us have done every time we jump into a power armor suit in the game. And he just went for it. And during this time, he hears screaming, and he hears these two guys fighting. And he's peeking over.
Oh, God. I love this scene.
Oh, God.
He's peeking over, and these guys are fighting by a set of chickens. And Maximus comes in and grabs the one guy by the hair, and he's like, "Oh,
hair, nothing, head, grips head."
He grips something on his head, and it wasn't light because that shit looked like it hurt.
Yeah.
And he grips him, and he's like, I'm Brotherhood is steel. I'm Night Titus. Hear me roar. And what does the snake? Oh, he says, I it's not the first time I've been persecuted for my scientific curiosity.
Which is a great line.
And so Maximus,
But yeah, this by the way, his name is John Daly. That's the name of the comedian that plays the snake oil salesman.
Okay.
I had to look it up because I needed to know who the fuck he was. But yeah, he's been in a lot of shit.
Hilarious fucking role too, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
with
absolutely.
Because he has that like Western look to him, like the snake oil salesman from like Red Dead Redemption. And Maximus lets the snake oil salesman go, and he lets the other guy go, and then the other guy says, that guy was fucking my chickens, but okay.
Yeah. So Maximus with a stunned look on his face.
Right here, can I point something out?
Oh, please do.
We get an NPC run.
Oh yeah.
Live action. The way the snake oil salesman ran away, bro, was straight NPC run.
I thought someone was gonna get accused of being a synth.
Really?
Yeah.
Imagine.
Imagine.
Synth. You're a synth.
You're
no,
a synth.
it's you.
That'd be
no,
funny.
It's you. One day.
But yeah, Maximus discovers two little thrusters underneath his wrists, and he uses those to venture out. And this is where we circle back to town. Gunfight. Maximus shows up.
Wait.
Pretty much save the fucking day.
Hang on, we missed the part.
No, we do.
No. We're good.
I got it.
We missed the part about Lucy.
Well,
That's what part about Lucy?
When she tries to de-escalate the situation, that's when we get Maximus.
Yeah,
we didn't talk about that.
Well, now Maximus is on his way to Philly because he knows that's where he has to go. That's
there you go. That one.
Yeah,
that's his quest.
Yes,
his quest.
His quest is to get to Philly. Yep. So yes, we circle back to Philly, and the gunfight is ensuing, and it stops because the ghoul is a G, and he kills literally almost everyone. After blowing Ma Jun's kneecap out,
that was great.
he has, I think he's doing some kind of, I think he says some kind of speech or whatever first. I don't know what he says. Can't remember. But Lucy comes out and okay.
He says that there's a bounty out for him.
Mm-hmm.
That there's 6 different agencies that are looking for that man right now, and it's a high bounty. So that's what he explains.
Okay. So Lucy is trying to use persuasion to de-escalate the situation, and pretty much tells the ghoul, "I can understand why the force is deemed necessary." She said, "Let the man go, or, So she tries to persuade the ghoul to stand down, and the ghoul says, "Nope, persuasion failed." Starts walking towards her, and she lets one go. Gio, what does the ghoul say to Lucy after she shoots him with a syringer?
He pretty much tells her there was not enough drugs in there to do what she was expecting to do. Yeah, he ate that fucking shot like a G.
And I can't wait to talk more about that when we learn about that.
Mm-hmm.
Why he says that. And yeah, so
So Maximus comes in. Well, you hear a voice, a robotic voice out of nowhere saying, "You heard the lady.
Stand down."
Yeah. So he comes in, fucking all Iron Man status, which was, where the fuck are the jetpacks, guys? Where are the jetpacks? Just give us the jetpacks. It's so much easier. So much easier. All right. So we get this motherfucker coming down and he tries to play the hero role. And fucking Ghoul says, yeah, what the fuck ever. So he basically lets off a round. He lets off a fucking round towards Lucy, and Maximus actually fucking like jolts over there, takes the fucking hit to the back, and crashes through one of the stores and shit, protecting her. During this fucking like insane moment, he decides that he wants to play lovey-dovey. So he lifts his fucking little his fucking bullshit. He lifts his fucking mask on the armor, and he just says, hi.
Hey.
And, they have their, I guess, fucking moment, whatever the fuck you want to call that stupid moment. And he's taking rounds to the back right now, because Ghoul is being relentless with this shotgun. Flaft. What?
He feels them.
Oh, yeah, no, he's feeling every one of them. So Ghoul's letting off round. Homeboy gets up and he says, "Get this. I'm looking for this guy too. He's essential to our mission. Whatever the fuck. Make sure he gets out of here. Like, make sure he's safe." So her and Maju go. They take the fucking professor and they bring him inside.
Well, yeah,
while this motherfucker.
I remember CX went and attacked Ghoul and
Yeah.
Ghoul stabbed CX.
Oh yeah. Well,
FTX.
do we really have to relive this part?
So that's an important detail, but yeah,
It is a very important
so they
detail.
bring him inside, and there's actually a cool Easter egg. There's Bubbles, the space cat, Mr. Pebbles. I'm sorry, Mr. Pebbles, the space cat, and then there's a bunch of like Mr. Handy posters all over the room when they bring him inside.
Dude, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
But yeah, Ghoul and fucking Homeboy are getting into a crazy all-out fucking fight, like literally fisticuffs. While this is going on, Lucy's in the fucking back with the professor and with Majun. Majun's telling fucking telling Barb to get up and help her find a fucking prosthetic leg, because this guy's not like, guys. His whole shit was gone. One fucking shot, bro. Gone. So they get, oh my god, they get this prosthetic that looks like a fucking meat grinder on the inside.
Oh, dude, I would hate that. Oh man,
no anesthetic, no pain, no nothing for the pain, nothing. She literally clamps this thing to the nub that's left of this motherfucker's kneecap, like chilling, and it just starts. And they have a bucket of blood, like a bucket to collect the blood, where no blood got in it.
It was like in the game, bro. Like
there was no blood in it.
It missed the bucket completely and spilled all over the floor.
So while this is going on, they basically talk about, she has to get this man where he needs to go. No matter what. He's making a plea like, I can make it. And Mount June's trying to tell him, like, no, you're not going to fucking make it, bro. Look at your shit. Your nub is bleeding. Sorry, I'm also chewing at the same time. So, it's just delicious. I don't give a fuck. It's delicious. So, this nub is getting all fucking ground up, and they're discussing, how to get him where he needs to go. So, Ma June, says, this is the only bitch we know that, we can probably trust in this motherfucker. Without even knowing this bitch. They just know that she's a naive vault dweller, so she pretty much do anything. So she makes the connection where the person that she needs to get this professor to is the person that Lucy's looking for to find her fucking father in the first place. Fucking Moldaver. Yep. So, they kind of proposition the whole thing, and she agrees to fucking do it. Then, during the whole thing outside, we go back outside, and the Ghoul is beating the shit out of Maximus in powder armor, bro. He's beating the fucking love out this guy. He's getting tossed around, but it doesn't affect this motherfucker. This guy was level cap 255. Like, he's been out there from the get-go, leveling up from day one. Like, this guy was on it. But the son of a bitch is putting it to him, and then you get to really see that this guy has a fucking past. Like, yo, like this dude has a past because he immediately knew what valve to cut on the Brotherhood armor. Literally with a fucking knife, cut the valve in order to pretty much kill it, like shut it the fuck down and like make it almost immobile. So he does that, and Maximus is just fucking. He's fucking noodle arms over here with metal. Like that's all it is. It's just noodle arms with metal. And fucking this dude's telling him like, "Yeah, you fucked up, boy." Pretty much, he's basically telling him you fucked up. And that's when Lucy comes out, and she's all geared up. She was looking at a wall, and on the wall we actually get to see a lot of fucking weapons from the game, which was really cool. And one of the weapons, interestingly enough, an Institute rifle.
Yes.
There was also a junk jet.
Junk jet, which was actually worth the exact amount it's worth in the fucking game, which was really, really cool. In caps. So she goes outside, armed, ready to go. Fucking, she ties down her fucking her vault suit and shit. She's comfortable, and she goes up to him and tells him, you know, she fucking stands down with the fucking ghoul and shit. And yeah, it doesn't go exactly the way they realize. Someone else take over. I'm getting cotton mouth.
He's getting cotton mouth. What part? Where were we at now?
Well, she was looking at the wall of wawas.
The what? The what? What?
The wall of weapons.
The wall of pew pews.
Oh. Okay, so she sees the wall of weapons, and then she doesn't take anything. Now that I think about it,
no,
yeah, she uses her own pistol.
She goes back. Maju's finishing off the foot, and and they're discussing more about Lucy being the one to take Dr. Wilsich, and Majun looks at her. She was like, well, like Gio said, we got to bring in the Moldaver. And Lucy says, what does Moldaver want with Wilsich? He steals dads.
She steals dads.
Great line. That was such a great line.
And that's when like things kind of come into fruition for her that now she has to be the one to take this asshole out there. And
so they basically escape out of the back of fucking Philly. Max basically escapes using his fucking Iron Man thrusters.
Or at least he tries.
Yeah, he fucking gets fucked up, this poor bastard. Like his first experience in power armor sucked. Let's be real. Worst experience ever.
And now we're coming towards the end of this now, because now, the ghoul walks in, he realizes Lucy's gone, his bounty's gone, and everything's fucked up. The town is in shambles right now, and I mean it'll be easy to pick it back up. Let's be real.
Yeah, it's pretty much garbage anyways. Like,
and so now Lucy is traveling with Wilsich, and it's cool because like you see this Soviet era satellite crashed into the ground.
Yeah.
I think it's super interesting because why was there a Soviet satellite above Los Angeles or in that greater California area? So something was going on, But we do know that during that time, America was at war with China. So you could put two and two together with this timeline.
Yeah.
So Wilsich can't do this anymore. He says he's dying, and Lucy's...
Yeah, that leg is bleeding out all over the fucking metal, like prosthetic.
And it's insane, because you would think that they could do something better about that, because...
Where was the stim pack? Yo, I was asking myself that question the entire time. Did they not hit this motherfucker with like 2 or 3 of them jumps? Like,
They must have without us watching. And, they get to this thing, and Wilsich tells her, I'm not going to make it. You're going to have to be the one to bring.
Why does he say that he's not going to make it?
Oh, well, he knew he was going to bleed out. He knew he was going to bleed out, that he wasn't going to make it, obviously. So he decided to take cyanide, which was apparently a product from Vault-Tec called, the Plan B, which was nuts.
Vault-Tec Plan D.
Yeah, he thought it would sell better, he said.
He said it tasted like bananas.
That's the sick part, that he said he thought it would sell better. And boy, oh boy.
Yeah, no, it's fucked up. He whips out. He makes the offer to Lucy where all he really like. He doesn't really necessarily have to physically get to Moldaver, just a part of him does,
Yeah,
which we find out is just his fucking head. So
yeah,
with that said, he whips out what looks like a modernized version of the Ripper. Like literally, it was the fucking Ripper. And yeah, I mean, she's a little hesitant for a while, thinking about doing it and shit. And of course, in good old fashioned vault dweller status, she says, "Okie dokie," and literally hacks off fucking homeboy's head, and the screen cuts to black, and that finishes episode 2.
oh yeah. And then in the end credits, we get something interesting, and I want to put this into perspective. Now,
Mm-hmm.
it may be debunked because there are palm trees there, and it may be a style for airports, a common style for airports in the timeline in Fallout, but the end credit shows that what looks like to be the Boston airport after a war.
Uh-huh.
There's power armor all over the place. There's Brotherhood of Steel posters. I think that's something to pay attention to and something we may get in season 2. I think the end credit sequences tell a lot. I said this in the last one, and this one tells a story.
Yes.
Word.
So make
Oh,
sure
yeah, man.
you pay attention to that. Other than that, do you guys have any final thoughts about anything?
I mean, stay tuned for the recap of episode 3. I know shit gets much crazier. I think 2 more episodes from now, but every episode going forward gets pretty interesting as far as information is
Yeah.
concerned.
I
The
wonder-
fact that this whole thing is now made legitimately canon to the games, like it's a lot to pick apart. A lot to pick apart.
Yeah. And I just want to put something in everybody's heads, all right? Now, everyone thinks that Vault-Tec are the bad guys, right? Everyone, they did these horrible things to people or whatever. But think about this. They put all the elitists and all the rich people in the vaults and experimented on them. Just
Yeah, that's
think
true.
about that. So, were they really the bad guy? Because all those rich people and all those people who own these companies and were trying to benefit, except obvious. Well, I don't want to spoil nothing, but like there are some things to think about here. Vault-Tec were taking out the elitists.
Hmm.
They were
Well,
doing,
Vault-Tec was trying to buy out everything.
yeah, but think
They
about
wanted
it.
to buy.
If
They
they
wanted a
felt-
piece of every fucking pie.
If they felt that the people up above weren't going to make it, why should the elitists? So that's been a new perspective of mine for Vault-Tec
Mhm.
recently.
I can agree.
Makes sense.
I think it's something to think about too, because it's just like, whoa, they were taking out the guys who were fucking up the world, and now
Yeah.
look, the ones who were not fucking up the world, their descendants are now rebuilding the world. So
Let
little
it be.
thought, but
We'll find out.
we love you guys. Thank you. We see that you enjoy this. We hope you enjoy this one, and
I hope we got high enough for you too.
Yeah.
yeah,
stoned.
I'm kind of lost. I'm lost.
I know.
Adios.
Beautiful.
Later.
Later.